Hello, fellow gamers, and welcome back to LORED. In the last episode, we unlocked the cash shop, which allowed us to kind of start creating both dollars and gems. Through kind of creating that, what we did unlock is we unlocked squirtlings. We gathered enough kind of gems in order to do that. Last episode, we kind of focused mainly on the lords kind of creating resources. Now we're into this second kind of tech tree. Let's have a look what squirtlings are. So, Sophia, we seem to have created a squirtling, and we'll do another one, as well as Noah. So now that we have two of these squirtlings, let's have a look at this tab on the cash shop to see which we have unlocked. So it looks like both Noah and Sophia are common squirtlings. What they seem to do is haste all of the stage 1 lords by 1%. Not very much right now, but given that it is a passive creation, then they are just gonna kind of help us in the long run. Okay, we have accumulated a little bit of resources to upgrade, but first I want to kind of have a look to see where we are from the last episode. So we can upgrade stone, which is always a good one because that's the kind of the base resource that we need to do a lot of the upgrades on the earlier kind of lords, like the coal, the growth. Ingots need a little bit, not as much. They normally need the opposite resource. So let's upgrade stone, and then let's have a look at just to see where we're at. So upgrading that stone really kind of affected our coal output. So while we're doing 4,300 stone per second, and we're kind of affected by that. So before we kind of go on to the next one, we have stockpiled a little bit of coal. We have over 500,000, which is great. Even with the minus 300, it's not going to affect us that. It's not going to run out anytime soon. It's going to take about 4 minutes to get enough stone before we can kind of level that up. So while we're waiting on that, let's see what other upgrades that we have. We could do the copper upgrade, jet puffed. That's going to affect coal a little bit more. It's also going to reduce how much stone we have. Like I said, stone's very important in a lot of these upgrades. I don't want to use that quite yet because I want to kind of make sure we have enough stone to upgrade coal so we're not in that positive. Let's have a look what else is going on. We can upgrade both the raw iron and copper, but again, I don't think we should do that yet until we get the copper upgraded. Sorry, before we get the coal upgraded. Reason why I don't want to do that is just because I don't want to lose coal and then put everything on halt. So it'll only take about 3 minutes to get another kind of 800,000 stone. So when we get that, we can start upgrading the other things. What we can do though is, because Jules doesn't use too much coal, I think it should be fine to kind of upgrade that just so we can build up a little bit of extra kind of power on that. You can see it's only affected it just a very tiny amount, because while it does use kind of coal, it just doesn't use enough to impact. I mean, you can see there it's doing 142 per process, but you can see how slow that is on the progression for that law to kind of do that. So it's only affected only a few a second, which is fine. Let's scroll down now. We can max out creating tarball. So what does that use? That uses growth, jewels, and oil. Now, last episode we did have a little bit of a problem with kind of keeping oil in the positive because it's producing such a low amount. As well, you can see growth is even slower. So what I would like to do is, once we have the coal upgraded, is to kind of focus on growth, and then we can get the tarball upgraded, and then that'll kind of put things kind of in a good state. Another thing that I kind of mentioned in the last episode is the input for the malignancies. by upgrading this, which we have plenty of resources to do so now, what we're actually doing is reducing the cost of malignancies. So as you can see, these are decimal points now. I think it was 4 joules, 2 growth, and 2 tarbal. Now, by reducing that amount by 20%, you can see here growth has went up, you know, tarbals has went up, as well as joules. So we are kind of working that in our favor. The red goopy boy, that basically produces more malignancy at no extra cost. A lot of these upgrades that we've kind of gone through last episode, you can see here just for cheeks, maxing that out, output and input is from 1.85 to 2.5. Basically what that means is that both the input that is going to go into creating materials and the output is 1 for 1. Whereas red goopy is kind of a multiplier. So you use the same resources, but you get more back. So basically with sticky tar and red goopy, it'll cost less to produce as we upgrade sticky tar, but then it'll kind of output more as we upgrade red goopy boy. Which in turn, once we get those kind of leveled up, it will kind of create malignancies a lot quicker and a lot cheaper. And then that'll reduce this rust and smoke upgrade, which will unlock the Malignant Upgrade, which is what we're kind of trying to do this episode. So while we're kind of waiting on those resources, let's go back to the cash shop where we can upgrade the gem creation, which means that we'll create enough gems to create squirtlings and buy them. And then let's have a look what else we can do. So, oh, there we go. So you can see coal's dropped down quite a lot, but as soon as we do that one upgrade, boom, 1700 per second. So that's automatically fixed that problem. Now we can do oil, which is almost 3 times the production of oil. And then we can do tarball, which has increased that. Now we're looking to do, like I was saying earlier, let's kind of make sure that growth is the next one we upgrade. And then while that's kind of doing that, let's have a look here. We might as well do that when it kind of upgrades and get tarball, creating more. And then we can upgrade the oil in a second. Where are we with this? 10 more seconds. We are in the positive for everything minus the growth, but again, that's only 1.54 per minute. Not a big number right now, but you know, it is worth kind of noting, like it's always good to kind of click back, see where we're at, and there we go. All on positive. So we can kind of look at everything now. We can upgrade concrete. Is there anything else we can do on this? I think we should be good on this screen. Yes. So let's have a look at these upgrades. So let's might as well get cheeks maxed out. What else have we got? We've got 2 more upgrades on here. Where are we looking? Ah, yes. So now that we can create more raw iron, more raw copper, and we're still good on coal. So yeah, so we wanted to hold off on those 2 just until we had a positive on coal again. So that's all kind of good to go on that. And then what else do we have here? We've unlocked something else. Can we find it? Ah, that's because it's in the cash shop. Okay, so one more squirtling. Who have we got? Jake. Jake, you are another common. This one increases the critical chance. Awesome. So critical chance is going to, I'll show you for an example here. I click the right button. So basically critical chance is 10%. It gives us currently a multiplier of 1.5, so we get 150% resources. So if you can see, kind of, we'll just keep an eye on this little thing here where it says there 6,200 gathering. So every time it crits, the law that does happen, that triggers the crit, does show what the actual amount is. Now, because we've kind of upgraded or sorry, I should say, because we have a squirtling, that does give a higher critical chance. Obviously, it's a decimal point, so it's not showing up in the actual stats tab of the lore. But basically, that's just going to trigger more. You can scroll down here where it says what the score amount is currently 8.01%. The higher that goes, the higher it's going to get up to that 10% mark. Basically, what it is right now is because we've been running each of these laws for longer than we've had access to critical chance, which we unlocked in the last episode, which was close to the top here. This perk here, how is it this in RPG anyway? That kind of gave us our 10% crit. It does kind of help out. I mean, obviously it's not guaranteed with it being a chance, but for when we're kind of like running super low on the kind of production per second, that just kind of helps us out not lose resources when we kind of crit a little bit quicker. Okay, now we do have enough to upgrade malignancies. This episode is really focused on that. This is the top tier material that we are trying to produce. So let's upgrade that. So we're now producing 4.04 per second. What that means is we are getting closer to our goal. We are looking at 1 more hour to upgrade to malignant upgrades. So now that we've kind of got things kind of caught up where we're kind of looking at, might as well do jet puff now, make sure that we are still. That dropped a considerable amount for the coal, but we are still in good shape with that. So just kind of checking everything here. Joules are looking a little bit low, so let's upgrade that. We're now producing 10 per second. And now it's just a case of just kind of cycling everything. I just want to kind of check just to make sure like kind of how things are. You know, stone's going to take a little bit of time, so I think we need to kind of look at kind of focusing on the iron and copper ingots. Just as soon as we get copper upgraded, that'll speed up that production, which will speed up the time that'll take to do the iron, and so on and so forth. So I'm just going to kind of let this run for a little bit. I am going to go for a cup of tea just to kind of wait around for the next upgrades. And before I do that, I'm just having a quick check just to see what's going on. And yeah, I mean, everything seems to be kind of in order. Everything seems to be positive. Growth could probably use a little bit of work. That's going to take a couple of minutes to get enough stone. But I'll be back in a minute once we have a few upgrades.
Much later.
And after a little bit of time, you can see here we do have enough to get growth up. So that's now producing 3.5. We have a few more upgrades, so let's max out Joules. We can also max out Cabri, which will haste the copper. Now you can see all that 1700, I think it was, coal that we're producing per second is now already down to 168. So if we do this, we will go into the negative, I believe. Not by much, but still it is going into the negative. Now what I want to do is I want to make sure we are producing enough raw materials for when we kind of upgrade. I said in the last episode, I like to try and keep at least 1 level above, so that, you know, all the ingots are going to be level 10, and then the raw materials is going to be 1 level higher, level 11. Still a little bit way off getting stone up to level 11. Coal is kind of way down. So let's see if we can do anything with the upgrades to help out a little bit. Sticky tar isn't going to help the coal situation, but it is going to reduce the kind of the resources needed for the malignancies, which means that we can kind of upgrade that without any problems. Let's make sure everything's fine on that. So we're producing malignancies even quicker now at 1.7 per second. We do have enough for another squirtling. So Benjamin, let's have a look what you are. So another haste, just so we got producing a little bit faster. So that's 3% now between the 3 of them. Great. And look at that, we already have another one. So Liam or Mario, whichever one you want to look at. Let's have a look at you. And this is going to be increasing crit chance as well. Great. So we need jewels, growth, and oil for tobbles. Let's do that. Let's make sure we are still on the positive for all of them, which we are. And things are ticking over pretty well now. So we're about 42 minutes away from getting the Malignant upgrades. I'm not going to have you guys wait that long, obviously. I just want to make sure that we have everything in order. Now, upgrading iron ingot haste is going to lower the production of coal. We are going to get an extra 140 per second. Iron is the one that we need to do more than copper in order to upgrade stone. So what I'm going to do is I am going to kind of upgrade, max out that, which will give us 32 of the 40 upgrades in this fire starter upgrade tree. There we go. How is that affected? So coal's now at 487, so we're losing quite a lot. Luckily we have 1.35 million. So hopefully we can maintain that. But look at all of these upgrades that we've got now. So I remember when we first started last episode, we were creating less than 1 stone per second, and now we're up to 4,000. So it's pretty crazy how exponential things grow between the episode, but look at all these upgrades that we have now. So Brioche and Jet Puff, they're going to take a little while. We're only 3 of 7, and we'll need 5.4 million stone to upgrade each of those. So I think for the now, we are going to kind of look at focusing on growth so we can get concrete up. Getting concrete up does kind of help us create more jewels. Jewels can be a bit of a sticking point when we're kind of upgrading that. But as long as we're kind of upgrading oil and kind of all these other materials for these, I think this will be a good way to increase our malignancies pretty quickly and overall get to that malignant upgrades. And through the magic of editing, we can now unlock the malignant upgrades. And Red Goopy Boy. Right, okay, so Malignant upgrades. Okay, what's this at the bottom? Metastasize? These upgrades will be applied on prestige. Oh, okay. So it looks like we have a prestige system. So let's kind of run through these just to see what's going on. Soccer Dude. Haste times 1.42 for the stage 1 lords. Okay. What in the idle game is this? Each lord has a level they must reach to unlock their auto buyer. Okay, so that kind of... Okay, so we have an auto leveler, which is good. I drink your milkshake. The effect is increased every time any lord uses coal. The rate of increase is based on Carl's level. Output times 1 for coal. So I wonder if that's... Okay, so it sounds like every time the lord uses coal, the rate of increase is based on... Okay, so it sounds like it'll produce 1 more coal every time a lord uses coal, and the rate of which is going to be on Carl's level. So let's have a look here. So basically, creating minus 810 right now. What do we have? Okay, so Scoot uses coal. Every time that completes a gather of stone, coal is then going to be added. So it's going to be an incremental increase. Oh, that's OP. That is really OP. Basically what that means is the more coal that's used, the more coal it's going to be gathered from Carl. And it's going to be multiplied by Carl's level. So for example, right now it's level 13. Every time this bar fills up on just this stone alone, that's going to increase its gather rate by 13. And then that goes with these guys, which is create that's yeah. So there's so many lords that use coal. It's going to be incremental, and it's going to massively increase that. So that's a must. What else do we have? Output and input for stage 1. Enthusiasm. Okay, so that basically doubles our output and input. So that just means we can get resources quicker. And then what's this one here? Output and input of concrete. ×2. Okay, I mean, that costs quite a bit, but yeah, I think that'll be a good one to do as well. So I think for sure we need to do this one. This is like an absolute necessity. Oh, 1 free level of coal. Okay, so we'll get 1 free level, so we'll automatically start on level 1. And what do we have here? Okay, so these need 150,000 malignancies. Ooh, that's going to take 9 hours each. Okay, that's going to take some time. 30 million? 30 billion raw copper? Wow. Okay, and the rest, I think, yeah, these are unlocked. And then that's Terra Decillion? Oof, that's going to be a long time before we go there. So, I think, yes, we need to increase haste for sure. So we have the OP coal generation. We're going 40% faster on rebirth or prestige, whatever you want to call it. And then I think we save up for the enthusiasm perk as well. So is there any way that we're kind of close to getting this upgraded? So yeah, so we're going to need some more iron and more copper. That's going to take a little bit of time. We're kind of fine on everything else except for coal. Oh, I also kind of turned this off just because we were kind of producing minus 2,900 per second. Ouch. What have we got here? Have we unlocked anything else that we can help out with this? No, that's just gonna make it worse. So what we need, hopefully, I mean, we do have enough time or enough resources for the time that we have left. Hopefully this will solve all of our problems. This obviously isn't ideal, having minus raw iron and raw copper, but I think if we increase that, we only need, we need another 3 million stone on top of the 8 million we need to upgrade. So bam. Okay, so we're back in the positive. These are going to be running slow, so that's going to take some time. So I don't think we're going to be able to upgrade this. So I think, what are we working for again? So I think we really need to kind of work on enthusiasm. And I also think auto buyer might be good. Not right now, but I think, yeah, let's focus on malignancies up to 5,000. And then I think what we do is we kind of prestige as well. I'm just going to click this. Hopefully it doesn't. Yes. Okay. So, metastasis. You're about to prestige, resetting Lord's resources and upgrades, which cannot persist through this prestige tier. Prestige tier 1. Reset stages on stage 1. Reset upgrade trees for Firestarter, and then gain +1 pending malignant upgrades. Okay, so basically the prestige is gonna kind of remove all of these, and we're going to be starting from this. It doesn't say anything about the cash shop though. Now I know the cash shop was unlocked here in the tree, but I wonder if when we prestige we get to keep all of these. Because right now this is just generating gems and cash. fire starter upgrades is what gets removed. But there's so... I wonder if it's just the unlocks. Let's read that again. Reset stages, stage 1. So I think stage 1... all of these guys are stage 1. So I think it's going to restart. So we'll start from again, like a standard prestige. Okay. Well, what I'll do is I'll wait to get malignancies up to 5,000. And then when we get back, we will prestige and see what happens. And just like that, we have enough to level up enthusiasm. So the next one's going to be 999 million. It's going to take 6 years to get enough malignancies for that. So I think at this point, given that all of these are taking so much, 70 days, 234 days, 340 days for getting clay upgraded, I think now is a good time to kind of have a look, see what this prestige is. So let's kind of have a look now. So we'll reset. Let's, oh, hang on, did that not reset? Oh, that's because I clicked cancel, my bad. Okay, so let's have a look at this. So let's prestige. So we kind of reset. Where are we? Oh, okay. So here we go. So we're already level 1. We're already producing coal. We can already kind of get stone, much like the start of the visit, as how we started it. But look at that. That's already doing 1.35. We can update that. Let's do it again. So we're making 2.81. Right. Let's get our raw iron back. Let's get copper back. There we go. And already you can see how much kind of quicker it is just on basics before we even go to the upgrades. Let's have a look at these upgrades. Oh, so it looks like, what do we have? So it looks like dollars and gems, they stay with us. Malignancy stays with us as well, so it's a good job we kind of gave that a little bit, so we already have a kind of head start on malignancies on this upgrade. And then in terms of the fire starter upgrades, so we're already good with that. We can get, I don't want to do them yet. I want to, let's get these, because I think, yeah, if we don't get them, it's going to take a little while. So okay, so we've got the big 6 already upgrading. This is so much quicker to upgrade, which is great. All right, now we can haste that, we can haste that. What do we need? That's going to take about a minute. We can already get fair trade, which took us a little while last time. Light a shovel. What else have we got? We can haste stone. Might as well do that now because we are producing a lot of coal already. What else have we got? I mean, we don't have any output right now, but we might as well level up while we can. What else have we got here? We almost have enough to create more dollars, which is going to speed that up. So let's wait for these few seconds. While we're doing that, we might as well kind of update stone. Anything else we can update? Yes, let's do iron, let's do copper, let's get raw iron and copper leveled up. That's going to take a few seconds to get there. Let's upgrade dollars. You see, already we're going so much faster. So let's pause this for now. And then next episode, what we'll try and do is we can see if we can get these unlocked. Now, I'm not sure how to unlock them yet. But what we'll do is we'll just try our best to kind of get back to where we are next episode and then take it from there. All right, guys. Well, appreciate you watching, and I will see you in the next one.